Live from New York, it's Ask an Engineer.
Hey everybody, welcome to another fantastic punk rock, hardcore Ask an Engineer. It's me, Lady Ada, the punk rock engineer. With me is Phil.
That's right.
Who's on camera control and mic check.
Yeah.
We've got a rockin' show tonight, as I mentioned. We've got all sorts of stuff. We've got demos.
No selling out tonight.
No. We're always original.
Yeah.
We're the number one.
No record label will have us.
No, that is definitely
true.
true.
No venture capitalist will fund us.
And I can't sing.
Yeah.
Yeah, I got my awesome punk collar, so I'm feeling extra punk. We've got cool stuff on the show. Tell them what's on tonight's show.
On tonight's show, we're going to talk about the show and tell. We got a special code tonight, OSCON, for all sorts of reasons. We'll go
Open
over that
source
soon.
convention.
That's right. We'll talk about some new stuff at Adafruit. Talk about some new things going on, some views that we got on YouTube. Cappy, we've got the new Cappy staff person at Adafruit who's going to do the voice. Made in New York, Adafruit's Made in New York. We'll talk about that a little bit, about open source hardware and the Open Source Hardware Summit.
Oshawa.
Hackaday sold to Supply Frame. We'll talk about that. Pack the Mailbag's going to stop by, read some mail. Got some Arduino stuff. A slightly new segment, drones. A next computer, a holy one, if you know what I mean. Adafruit Learning System, Wearable Wednesday, 3D Thursday, Pi Day, new products, that's what the sound means. Take your questions, we'll have a trivia question, a little bit of top secret, we'll have that, all that and more, and a cat.
And a cat.
All that on Ask an Engineer.
We may have a video of a cat. So
Yeah, we have a video of a cat.
You really want to watch the entire show tonight.
Yeah, we have a video of a cat.
So that you can see this cat video that we took.
We're doing this thing.
Cat hated it.
Yeah.
Okay, we're here.
Okay, so.
What's first?
Yeah, here's the deal. The code tonight is OSCON.
OSCON just ended.
OSCON just ended, but the sale begins. 10% off everything in the Adafruit store. OSCON is the open source convention in Portland, Oregon, 22nd to 26th.
We have a lot of open source stuff in the store.
We have a lot of open source stuff in the store. That is the code.
OSCON.
Yeah.
We went to OSCON. We went to OSCON like 3 years ago.
We keynoted in 2007.
We keynoted it. I sat on a chair.
Yeah.
And
when I keynoted. It was a fun talk.
Yeah.
So.
Oh, hey, that's who I am.
Yeah. Hello.
Okay.
Look at you. All right, look at the production values here. Maybe we did sell out.
Yeah, maybe.
There's a team of 50 people who run Ask an Engineer now.
Yeah, is that so?
Yeah, you can't see all the audio technicians and video technicians.
Phil, they're all puppets.
Really?
Yeah.
We do have all of our puppets there.
They're puppets, they're not real people.
Yeah, we're not real. James Cameron has been working on Ask an Engineer for a while. We're avatars.
Okay.
Oh. Anyways, so let's talk about the show and tell.
Okay.
Data. What was on the show and tell?
We had a lovely show and tell with 4 fine guests. First up was Dino returning back with his modular robot that has a modular robot as a robot module. Think about that for a second. Blow your mind. The latest module that he's made is a gas sensor module. It detects carbon monoxide, alcohol, flammable gases, and methane. So he kind of like has it all. And he has these in these plug-and-play modules. He created this bus. It's kind of intense. He's got like IMU modules. It's cool. He just loves building robots. Andre showed up. He went to a camp about robotics, and he learned about pneumatic control, which is fun because it's can be very fast, very powerful, much faster than winding copper, air, power of air. So he has harnessed the power of air using a compressor and an Arduino, and he's got this compressor hooked up to this like actuator, and it's actuating. It actuated. It was loud.
Yeah, it was from a camp thing he was at. He does, I think, first.
He does FRC 1537. I don't know. Something like that. I don't remember the FRC number.
Yeah.
Mr. Matheson showed up. He's doing software-defined radio with GNU Radio and then this other tool whose name I forgot. Using a Raspberry Pi. He's doing APRS stuff. He's got a call sign. He's in San Diego. Check out the video for more details on using software-defined radio with a Pi.
Yeah.
It's cool. Looks like there was some
really cool project.
Stuff going on there. Ham radio in the 22nd century.
Yeah.
21st century, whatever. 28th century.
Yeah.
In the future.
Like Buck Rogers.
I don't even know what day it is.
Yeah.
Well, it's Saturday because we're doing Ask Engineer.
Yeah.
Okay, Ian showed up. Ian had another Pi project. He built like an Arduino power supply controller for the Raspberry Pi, and he did that. But he's doing Bitcoin mining with his Pi, and he's got some Avalon ASICs. I now know quite a bit about ASICs ever since we did our Bitcoin Pi miner project.
We have a Adafruit Bitcoin mining tutorial.
That is right.
What a weird world we're living in.
That's right. We do have that, and you can check it out at the learning site.
Learn.adafruit.com.
All these people get a fabulous sticker. All they have to do is email support@adafruit.com. And if you want a sticker, a high-quality vinyl sticker just like this, this is not life-size. It's not actually 3 foot by 3 foot. It's actually kind of like this
Depends how big their screen is. It could be a Retina display, and it could be huge, or it could be on their TV.
But compared to my size.
Through a Chrome dongle or something.
It's like this. It's this big. It's a very lovely sticker. If you want a sticker, it's free.
You want to tell them how to get a show and tell?
But you have to be on the show and tell to show off a project. Show off your project. Go to plus.google.com/+Adafruit and find the post where I say comment here to be added to the show and tell circle. Comment. Get yourself added to the show and tell circle, and then every single week at 9:30 p.m. Eastern Time on a Hackaday, you'll be invited to show something off.
That's right. Okay, first up. If you noticed on Google Plus, we have a couple new graphics. They're not going to display that great because I'm putting them through this interface right now.
Layers of things.
Yeah. There's animated GIFs that are going to be turned into graphics and turned into videos. Anyways, we have a couple new graphics. This is on Google Plus. Yeah, like little Adabot. You can ask all sorts of things. Adabot pops up.
Whoa.
Yeah. So this is on.
Adabot's got great shoulders.
Yeah. This is right. This is on our Google Plus page right now. And then we have a show and tell banner.
Okay.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Cool.
That's a nice little animation.
Hello. Yeah.
Hello.
So we got that going on now.
Okay.
You'll notice we have a bunch of new graphics that we're putting on to the show.
Sweet.
So back to paying bills here, and the big news. The code is OSCON, OSCON. And here's the reason why. Lady Ada, you won and was awarded an open source award from the O'Reilly Open Source Convention. Congratulations.
I love wearing that skull t-shirt.
You were recognized. There's a yearly awards ceremony, and you were given an open source award, and it's in the mail on its way to you. And we couldn't talk about it until now.
Yeah.
But O'Reilly sent an email, and they said, congratulations. You were nominated by the open source community for all the stuff that you do
That's neat.
in the world of open source. So that means that you're putting out code, you're putting out
hardware. I put out code all the time.
Yeah, and
all I do all day is write code
and
design hardware.
Yeah, and
my eyes hurt.
And there was people, I think, from some Perl efforts, some Python efforts. The rest of the folks in the past have been really awesome people. So congratulations, Lady Ada. Maybe everyone in the chat could tell you congratulations.
Thank you for nominating me and winning.
And the last year,
I wasn't there. I was here, but
last year, the previous year winners helped select this year.
Oh.
So other open source people, which I always think it's a good idea.
That's a good idea.
Yeah.
All right, I'll think about some people who also deserve some award.
Yeah.
Well, after we got the EFF award, the Pioneer Award a couple of years ago, we worked really hard to nominate Bunny Wang.
Yeah.
And then he got an award, so it was like, sweet, because he deserves it way more than me.
Yeah, there's a couple ideas that we've tossed around for conferences, and as you've collected awards for all the cool stuff you've done. I think a conference, there's lots of private invite-only conferences. We don't really go to those. But if someone does go to those, I think you're only allowed to go once, and the next time you go, you have to pick the person who's going to replace you, and it has to be really good.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
I thought it would be a good idea, and I also think like the awards world would benefit from the people who get the awards to and I think that happens organically anyways. Like you got an EFF Pioneer Award, and for years we've told Bunny, this is the one award that you deserve so much for all the stuff that you've done, Bunny. So he's working on an open source laptop now. He did the HDMI thing. He hacked the Xbox. He did Chumby. He's the reason that we're all here. Open source hardware couldn't exist without him.
Yeah.
So,
that's cool.
Anyways, cool stuff. All right.
Okay.
Adafruit news. We added a new engineer to Adafruit.
Actually, I added the quadcopter. I don't know who that other guy is. I guess he's just holding the quadcopter. We now have a drone on staff.
Yeah, no, we don't.
Just kidding. I'm kidding.
This is Frank, and Frank just joined at Adafruit as an engineer.
Yes.
He also posted up on our blog. He made a cool Pebble watch face, by the way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That actually looks pretty good.
Yeah, but I'm going to do a kind of a worlds collide thing. I'm going to explain why this is really interesting.
Okay.
Yeah.
Let's hear it.
Boodaloo, boodaloo, boodaloo. Yeah. So this is why this is interesting.
Okay, flashback.
Yeah,
How
so-
far are we flashing back to?
Well, let's first flash back to maybe 5 years ago or so. Frank was order number 6840.
yeah, it was like the 6,000th order.
Yeah.
Hey, pro tip, by the way, I started at order 1,000.
Oh, okay. So
So actually, it's
So we're off a
it's
little
5,000. Yeah, I'll tell you why. Because I didn't want somebody to be like, I'm order number 2. Oh my God, like that's so scary. So I started with
Really?
1,000.
okay.
So it was a little bit less
Yeah.
traumatic for the first 2 people who ordered.
Oh, okay, that's cool. Yeah, like, oh my God, I can't believe I'm putting my credit card on this lady site.
And it's like order number 6. It's like, oh man,
Yeah.
I don't know. I'd be. It's like,
That's cool.
yeah. Sorry.
So Frank was in high school, I believe.
Yeah.
And he was ordering electronics. And he went off to school to become an engineer.
Yeah.
He was finished with school. He's an engineer, Waterloo. And he posted up on the Adafruit jobs boards about the skills that he had. He had all sorts of cool open source hardware projects and cool code. And when we saw him post up on the job board, we said, oh my gosh, he's someone that we think we want to hire to do some work with us. So we started doing some work and we're like, wow, this is working out really great. You should join the staff as an engineer. So we made the jobs board for the world, but we also made it for us. And that's a really good example of someone using the jobs board for getting out their skills and for us being able to find cool makers. Because if they're able to post on the jobs board and they were a customer of Adafruit, you know what? It's probably someone we may want to hire one day. So go backwards even more. 9 years ago, I started a site called Hackaday.
Which we'll talk about later also.
Well, I'm going to just skip to it now.
Oh.
Yeah.
Wow, you're just jumping around.
Yeah. So I started a site called Hackaday. And Hackaday was started because I wanted to have a place online where people would post their cool projects. Because
I remember when it came out, and I remember the first thing I thought was like, there is no way I'll find one Hackaday.
yeah, everyone told me that. I remember when everyone said there's no way you're going to have enough projects to show that someone's made something once a day. So on the Adafruit site, we average over 30 posts a day.
I know, even I can't keep up with it.
Over 30 posts a day. There's so many things that people are building. So anyways, I started Hackaday. And I was writing it in Gadget, and the how-to series I was doing took off. I was working at Popular Science as a editor doing their how-to section. And it was just like, wow, I think, how-tos are going to be a big deal. And one of the reasons I wanted to do it is because I wanted to meet other cool makers and maybe possibly one day hire them, because I thought in the future I'd be working in an electronics company in some way.
Nice work.
Yeah, it worked out. So Paint Your Dragon, Phil B., he was a writer at Hackaday.
Okay.
So he wrote at Hackaday, and he now works at Adafruit. So this is the thing.
He's lead Blinky engineer.
Yeah, he is. And Caleb Kraft, who recently left Hackaday, he joined EE Times as their editor-in-chief. And he's done some stuff with us in the past, too.
Yeah.
So really, really neat. And so for the folks out there who are always thinking, oh, maybe I should start a website or a resource for makers, and you're wondering, like, what can happen, these are all the types of things that could happen. These are all really good things.
Yeah.
So speaking of...
Okay, so you know all these people.
Yeah, well, this is part of the story, this maker world. That,
Wait, what's that to do with Frank?
Well, because what this has to do with Frank is we made a jobs board to find cool people.
Yeah.
I made Hackaday a long time ago to find cool people. So
You just like hanging out with cool people.
this is if they think Hackaday is cool, I want to work with them. If they think using our jobs board and getting kits from Adafruit is cool and doing open source hardware, I want to hang out with them.
Yeah.
So speaking of, so Hackaday just sold. The amount is undisclosed, but it's probably at least 350,000 or 450,000. I gave the site away. I left. I'm just like, here you go.
Yeah.
I went off to do Make magazine with Dale and Mark and Sean and Dan and Tim and like all these people, and Cherry. So it's now owned by Supplyframe, who owns FineChips.com, and they also sponsor the EEV blog.
Oh, is that so?
That's so.
Okay, I didn't know that.
Yeah. And so what's interesting is this seems like the best home for it. I'm very pleased to hear that they're doing this.
Yeah.
It could have went to really bad owners. Who knows?
Yeah.
So this is really cool. So that is maker history. All right, let's keep moving. Next up, real quick programming note that we really like. Dazuki posted up their documentation guide, how to make great documentation. Really cool guide. They made a guide on making guides.
That's cool.
Things like, welcome, before you write, crystal clarity, communicate with style, audience, photograph the process, using other visuals, organize your content, legal requirements, publishing after you write. This is really cool. Read this. Documentation is the hardest thing.
It is.
Get
I'm
on
sure I have
it.
a lot of documentation next week, and I am not looking forward to it. Ugh.
Yeah. Okay, next up. Pack of the mailbag.
You skipped on some.
What?
You skipped on.
Yeah, I know. I'm skipping around. Pack of the mailbag. We're gonna
Okay.
read. Yeah, we're gonna read the stuff. Here is a letter from a customer. I received my parcel last week. I just wanted to thank you for making everything you made for me. You're the best customer service I've ever seen, and probably the best on earth. Learned at Adafruit.com is really great, and your products are simply amazing. Keep going like that. Thanks, Alex.
Thank you, Alex.
Yeah. All right. Next up, big news in the world of Adafruit. We hit 4 million views on the YouTube channel.
4,000,000.
It's a big deal. Up 850% since last year.
And we have 32,000 subscribers.
Yeah.
And we have awesome videos.
Yeah, we got a lot of stuff. So thank you very much. And speaking of, everybody every week in the chat has said, have you finally decided on Cappy? And so Cappy is our capacitor. Cappy is a puppet and also a character in Circuit Playground.
Yeah.
He's sitting over there, I can see him. But we need to do tryouts. One of the
why?
things that we do at Adafruit is we're not going to hire actors and people who just do puppeteering. No. We have plenty of talented people here. So we have
In-house talent.
we have in-house talent. We have
Punk
artists.
talent.
We have artists. We have musicians. We have playwrights. We have comedians. We actually even have people who do puppeteering. So what we did open tryouts in the company for puppets. And so Cappy is one of the first ones. And Cappy has like a.
I don't get to be a puppet because I'm the live person character.
You're the only one that can't be a puppet. And I run Adabot behind the scenes because that's what I like doing. So
Okay.
I usually run Adabot. So and then we film with Colin. So here are the tryouts. I want to share these with everyone.
Let's see this thing.
And then we'll tell you who, because a lot of people want to know who got it.
Who won?
Yeah, so there it is. I probably should have put some music before the start.
I'm Colin, and that's it. A capacitor is a passive two-terminal electrical component used to store energy electrostatically in an electrical field.
All right, I'm Phil, and I'm going to be reading the role of Cappy. All capacitors contain at least two electrical conductors separated by a dielectric. There be one common construction for all metal foils separated by a thin layer of insulating film.
Speak up and say you're Martin.
Yeah.
And then you can, yeah.
Martin here, auditioning for Cappy. Capacitors are used as parts of electrical circuits in many common electrical devices. How's my pirate sound? Not sure how I did with that.
This is Tony, auditioning for Cappy. Good. A capacitor is a passive two-terminal electrical component used to store energy and electrostatically in an electric field. All capacitors contain at least two electrical conductors separated by a dielectric.
Nathan. A capacitor is a passive two-terminal electrical component used to store energy electrostatically in an electric field. All capacitors contain at least two electrical conductors separated by dielectric.
Okay. Hi, I'm Ian Chain, and I'm going to be reading Cappy. All capacitors contain at least two electrical conductors separated by a dielectric. There may be one common construction of metal foils separated by a thin layer of insulating film. Capacitors are used as part of electrical circuits in many common electrical devices.
All right, I'm Thomas, and I am auditioning for the part of Cappy, the capacitor.
A capacitor is a passive two-terminal electrical component used to store energy electrostatically in an electric field. All capacitors contain at least two electrical conductors separated by a dielectric. There be one construction of metal foils separated by a thin layer of insulating film. Capacitors are used as parts of electrical circuits in many common electrical devices.
Okay. And we're
The
pleased.
tension
Yeah.
is so high. The envelope, please.
Yeah. And the capacitor goes to Tom.
Tom.
With Nathan as alt in case something happens to Tom.
Okay. Tom is also in charge of receiving.
Tom is a director here at Adafruit, and he's in charge of all receiving and incoming logistics at Adafruit.
All the boxes that come in, Tom is in charge of.
Yeah.
And he almost never makes a mistake. No, he does an excellent job.
Yeah, he's fantastic.
He's awesome.
Yeah. Tom is a rock.
He is, yeah, he is like the core of Adafruit. Adafruit would not survive if it wasn't for Tom.
Yeah.
He does one
And
of the
now
most
he's
important jobs.
And now he's Cappy the capacitor.
And now he's a North British capacitor.
And what a lot of people don't know is Tom does the music in the beginning of the show and for most of the videos.
That's right.
Beats.
That's right. He is Bartlebeats. He's also Frog. But he's also Bartlebeats. There's multiple bands.
We have really talented people here. They just exude talent. Okay, next up, we're gonna keep moving here. We're chatting tonight. Next up, there was a cool article about New York City by Mark Barrows, who visited here recently. Is New York the next maker epicenter? And then Mark talks
why
about.
not?
Then Mark talks about all the companies. I think it is. There's a 3D printing capital of the world. That is true. It's a fact. There's more 3D printing going on here in New York than
Technically,
anywhere
yes,
else.
that is true.
Right, and he said something very interesting that I really like to hear. You ready?
Okay, let's hear this thing.
He visited Adafruit. He visited all these maker
He
companies.
did. He hung out here like 2
Here's
hours.
what he said. Adafruit, innovative commerce. And I'm just going to read the first part. Adafruit, a maker-focused website, has the potential to become the Zappos of the electronics market. Thank you so much, Mark. That is kind of what we're doing.
We
That's
have
right.
our roots in designing beautiful open source hardware.
Yeah. So that's what we try to do. We're crazy about customer support here. We actually will do anything
We're a
and
little
everything
crazy.
to help everyone.
We have the best customer support. How many 5-star reviews do we have on Google?
That's right. Through over 1,000 5-star and pretty much nothing after that.
And then nothing. It's like all 5-star
Yeah.
reviews, and then like that's it. That's all.
Yeah.
That's all we got.
The thing about and here's because tonight's kind of maker business heavy. Here's the thing about customer service with electronics. So everything breaks. It's electronics. Just like shoes. Like shoes just kind of don't fit, even if it's the right size. And this is why Zappos, they pick the hardest thing. They're like, I don't know, shoes.
So it's like DIY kits.
Yeah.
It's hard too.
And
Maybe
this
you
is
have
really
to put
hard.
it together.
There's code and people have to put stuff together and there's so much stuff you have to do. So we decided if we're gonna convince people to do engineering and get involved in science, technology, engineering, art, and math, we should make sure that experience is as good as possible, and that just means having really great customer support. So and we answer emails instantly within like a few minutes. The forums, the Adafruit customer support forums, we have 4 or 5 full-time engineers in there constantly, staff engineers.
Yeah, staff.
And it's all public, so you
Paid.
can search it.
Yep.
We made a really big decision a long time ago. Let's put all the customer support public, so everyone
we have
can
the
search
best
it and
learning
find
system.
it. Best learning system.
All the documentation is at 99.9%
Yeah.
of the documentation on our learning system
all our
now.
stuff is on GitHub.
GitHub.
We do this show. We have Google Plus. We have
There's
Twitter.
no
we do all this stuff.
register to get the data sheet, register to get
Yeah.
support. It's like
You never liked that when you were doing electronics.
no, it's like it's all there. Everything's searchable.
Yeah.
You just have to log into
And then
spam or avoidance, whatever. But like
yeah, you have to prove you're not a robot.
you just have to
spam
prove
thing.
you're not a robot. That's all.
Yeah.
We give support.
And then
to
the
everybody.
last thing is we like to set a really positive tone. You've been part of electronic communities that were really crummy. They didn't like anything. They hate
were
Arduino.
they were very mean to me.
They didn't like girl doing electronics. They didn't like that stuff. So we decided let's make our own really cool community and be really inclusive.
Yeah.
And so we have our big community.
We
on
have
Google
every
Plus.
kind of person.
Yeah. So anyways.
And cat.
yeah.
Cats of engineering.
So
Cats are welcome.
we're a cat company. Okay. Anyways, next up, some news in the world of open source hardware. I'm just going to go through these really fast. We're gonna run out of time tonight, Lady Ada. News in open source hardware. OSCON sponsor. Get tickets.
We sponsored it.
There's a new survey. Sign up for it. The badge. You'll get it.
It's e-ink.
It's happening.
Sweet.
Yeah. Next up, Arduino news. So we're starting to see people make really cool projects with the Suviduino.
And by project we mean food.
Yeah. And the cool thing is the maker said, I didn't have to modify the rice cooker at all. I used the Adafruit Suviduino. And here it is. This is the kit that we have. This is some of the stuff that you can make. Check it out. Next up, some drone news. I wanted to get
News and drones.
News and drones. This is our little happy drone thing. So first up, there's the Instagram. It's called Dronestagram, where drones can post their photos that they like and share
That's
it with
cool.
each other. And then this other news story, I wanted to talk about this just for a minute. So this company is DJI, and this is the first time I've ever heard of this. In the firmware won't allow you to go to Tiananmen Square.
Yeah.
So the firmware will keep these.
There's like a little GPS square that's like you can't.
It's location censorship in firmware. What a weird new thing that we have to start thinking about.
That's cool and weird.
So,
and kind of awful, but it's cool and weird.
So when I wrote this up, I said, okay, great. That's very interesting. So they don't want these drones to go there. It's a consumer drone that you can just buy and just store it.
Yeah.
You know? They don't want these drones to go over Tiananmen Square. Okay, cool. Who asked them? Why? That's an interesting question. But the other one is, what's going to be the first American company to do that? Will it be airports? Will it be certain landmarks who will do that? Will everyone then switch to open source?
Will it be like the White House?
They can always mod the firmware so there's no restrictions. Who knows? This is so interesting and so weird. It doesn't get weirder than this. Okay.
Yeah.
Talk amongst yourself. The other thing is when we were walking to work, when you and I were walking to work, we saw this. Here's my little video.
It's a mock drone. It's not a real one.
Yeah, I guess they're probably looking for footage near the security cams or the traffic cams. Yeah, this is fun. Look at me, looking at you, looking at me, looking at you.
Okay.
Drone pal.
Yeah, next up, we have an awesome photo shoot. So as many people know, I collect old Next computers. And John Junior and I team up on cool projects. And what you're about to see is not photoshopped at all. In fact,
It looks photoshopped.
In fact,
but it is not photoshopped.
in fact, it's jetted.
Do you want me to grab this?
Yeah, so I'm going to show the photos. So this is a vintage Next computer. This one doesn't work. I have a collection of Next stuff that does work. This doesn't work. And so we had our friend
Well, it
Waterjet.
definitely doesn't work now.
Yeah, we had our friend Waterjet a circle out. So what you're seeing is a water-jetted Next. And this is a photo set from John Junior. And I'm really happy about this because I wanted a piece of art. So this is the Next here. You can see. And I've wanted to do this for years. Yeah, and this is, you can look through it. Yeah, look at that. Beautiful magnesium casing.
Yeah, this is a really beautiful case.
And so this is a new, it's not Photoshop, it's jetted. Adobe just required jetting.
Yeah, jetting.
Your WaterJet needs an update.
Yeah.
Do you want to install the update
I
now?
like how it like cut through the hard drive.
Yeah, WaterJet don't care. WaterJet keeps going.
WaterJet
Okay.
does not care.
So that's our photo set for the week.
Actually, this connector's really beautiful. It's cut through this connector.
Yeah. It just doesn't.
And this EEPROM.
Yeah,
Or
it's
EEPROM.
Zork. Yeah. So I'm going to hang this up on the wall.
Yeah,
because this is-
1991. This is when this was made.
Yeah. And next, that's how I learned computers, so I really like Next stuff. Okay, next up, Adafruit Learning System. Lady Ada, we got some stuff in Adafruit Learning System. Best place to learn on the world.
We did a lot of
Yeah.
updates.
Okay, what's going on?
We did, we've updated a lot of the tutorials, moved them from the old LadyAda.net wiki. This week we did the standalone AVR chip programmer, which we also have as a shield. This is awesome. This is how I program chips in-house. It's the fastest way possible to program a chip.
Okay, some Beaglebone updates and tutorials.
Oh, we also, we did update the tutorial for the Beaglebone
SPI
IO library, which Justin Cooper has been working on. Hardcore, we basically adapted, we created a Python GPIO and extras, accessories, hardware peripherals library that's in the same style as the Raspberry Pi one, so it's called Adafruit BBIO. There's another BBIO, so this one is the Adafruit BBIO, just don't want to have any confusion. And we've added UART support and SPI support, and what's neat about the BBIO stuff, it actually takes care of the device tree overlay management for you, which I still don't completely understand. I don't understand the kernel 3.8 device tree overlay. I have to understand it one day. But if you don't, like I do, or if you don't like I don't, the BBIO library takes care of it for you. So SPI support, UART support, already had I2C and GPIO support and PWM support and analog read support. So it actually is kind of everything you need.
Okay, next, Wearable Wednesday. Every Wednesday, the best in the world of wearable electronics. I guess I'll just talk about this. So we've been planning a weekly wearable electronics show. It'll be out very soon. It's going to be a live... Starring Becky Stern.
Starring the Becky Stern.
Yeah, so it's...
Not just a Becky Stern, we have the Becky Stern.
Yeah.
Do not accept any imitations. This is the Becky Stern.
Yeah, there's other ones, but this is the most internet famous one.
This is the
that
Becky
does
Stern.
wearable electronics. So It's going to be a live show, just like Ask an Engineer.
Yeah,
Because
it's
that's-
wearables.
because it's
and
hard.
you did a demo of this a few weeks ago for Element 14 for the wearable contest. So that was your little
It was so popular.
spec check.
Yeah, and we really liked wearables. Okay,
All right, watch for that in a
here it
few
is.
weeks.
This is our project of the week. It's the LED punk collar that Lady H is about to show. This is a kit you can build. It shows everything. Here is Rissa. She is part of the Wearable Electronics Project group. And here is a video.
Getting bored of the same old punk fashion and want something new to DIY?
Get it. Make it yourself.
So you can glow. And glow.
And glow.
Punk LED collar tutorial on learn.adafruit.com with a kit available from Adafruit.
All right, moving right along.
Wait,
do you
I
want,
should-
do you want
I
to
should
turn
turn
this
this
thing on?
on.
Yeah,
Yeah,
turn
yeah.
this collar on.
There you go.
Look at that.
So yeah, it's actually, I made a collar just like this when I was in college using blue LEDs, and they were like $4 each.
Yeah.
Or something like $3 each, but I bought some from DigiKey, and they weren't even diffused. I kind of like scratched them up to try to diffuse them. And I remade that collar, and I wore it around a lot, like, in school and at Burning Man, and I really like it. And so I thought it would be a really fun project for wearables. What I would like about this project is there's no microcontroller. It's just a bunch of LEDs, 10 LEDs, and these are the big chunky diffused ones, which look really cool.
Yeah.
It looks cool even off. And then we're doing it in red. It runs off a single coin cell. The one I built a while ago used a LiPo, which I thought is neat, but maybe not quite ready for most people because it requires charging and stuff. This one's off of a coin cell, and it has a little adjustable on-off / brightness, adjustment pot, so you can kind of dim it or brighten it as necessary. And yeah, this is like a fun project.
Yeah. You wore that when we went to the one that you made
blue
at
one.
Burning Man. When we were
Yeah,
at
I
Burning
used
Man.
to. I would wear it at Burning Man because actually I've never seen anyone like it, so it was really good for identifying me in a crowd of people.
Yeah.
But yeah, so now we have it in red. You could also possibly make it in other colors, but red looks the best because the forward voltage of red LEDs is less than the coin cell. If you put in 2 coin cells, you could probably, or a LiPo battery, you could do it with blue or white. So maybe we'll do that in the future. But it's a really fun project. It's really easy. It's a great learning to solder project. And you have something you can wear to a party.
Yeah, we'll revisit this shortly as we get to new products. Next up is 3D Thursday. Every Thursday, the best and the most things
You
about
guys
3D
posted
printing.
like 40 posts.
There's a million things going on in 3D printing. So I only can pick a few. So here's my big news of the week. Microsoft Store has MakerBots. You can go there, buy filament, buy the actual things. Next
That's
up,
cool.
yeah, it's cool. Cubify. Print out your own little action figurines. Star Trek Next Generation, personalized. You can be your own little figure.
Yeah.
And then last up, if you are morbid like us, you can get yourself cremated and then turned into a 3D printed record. It's a company that does this. And you get a little 3D printed thing of yourself, and then you get turned into a record, and then they can play.
Rest in vinyl. Okay.
Rest in vinyl.
That's
Yeah.
pretty punk.
Next, Pi Day, all the things cool in the world of Pi. So this one I thought you would enjoy, Lady Ada. I don't know if you
Okay.
did, because we have so many Pi posts. So
I know.
Pi Day
I'm
is
really behind on my.
Pi Day. It's like drinking out of a fire hose, but it's made out of pie, and pies are coming out of the fire hose.
I know.
It's a pie.
It's out of control.
Yeah.
All right, what was this week's
Okay, so this
post
one
of
was
the week?
This one was pretty neat. Someone did a really neat thing with a pager. They used a Raspberry Pi to do pager message sniffing, and this is relevant to your interests because you've done.
This is what that was shown on the show and tell. This is the same thing, the RTL 2832 USB dongle.
That's right.
Yeah. So software defined radio.
Yeah.
You should probably get one of those.
Yeah.
That sounds cool.
And so you did a project where you figured out the pager traffic, and we actually met our friend Josh runs the pager network. Here in New
Yeah,
York.
what I actually did is I took a pager, because all pagers can listen into all pager traffic.
Yeah.
There's no encryption. So you can actually open up a pager and then use that as the receiver for receiving pager data, and then you just use a FTDI friend or something grab the data off. I think that's what I did. No, I did a serial port.
Yeah.
Serial port adapter, but maybe he's FTDI friend.
Yeah, it's a very popular video on our site. All right. Next up, before we go on to new products, I have a continuation of the color glove project.
Yeah.
And this is something that I started, and then you helped, and then Colin worked on. So this is the continuation of this project. This is the Adafruit Flora. It's a color sensor that looks at the color. There's an LED that shows the color it sees. And then this is our codec board that has MIDI in it. And this is going to be a live demo. I'm going to play it. This is a speaker right here. And I'm going to go over to the overhead. And I'm going to go over here.
Get this book out of the way.
Yeah. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to use this. Yeah, it'll focus in a second. Here we go. Okay. So this is this little codec thing that tells you that shows you colors.
Yeah, that was from when I did color photography.
Yeah, and so
I've carried it around for like 20 years.
And so what you're seeing is a new type of musical instrument that I'm working on. This is just another demo version of it, and this is it sees color and then it turns it into music. So before I just had a little piezo. Colin just worked on this, and now we're gonna.
But now it does full MIDI.
Now it does full MIDI. So I'm gonna play this music, and you'll be able to hear it shortly. So you could see.
And it's smart. It knows that there's no color.
Yeah.
I wrote this little code chunk so it would only play it when it got high saturation color.
And then I'm going to play your hair. Ready?
Wait, what? It's pretty consistent. Yeah, my skin's different.
Yep, the weirdest 1 hour on live internet you'll ever see.
I need a shower.
Yeah, sorry about that. So that's the project. This is what we're working on. We don't have a name for it yet, but it's a musical instrument we're developing here at Adafruit.
Okay.
Yeah. I had like 10 minutes of not like running Adafruit time, and so this is the first thing. I set up my little desk and I quickly made this. Yeah. Whew. Okay. On to bigger and better things. Okay, Lady Ada, the code is OSCON. Code's OSCON because you won this award. It's crazy. Open source award. They don't do closed source awards.
I hope it's just like a gigantic 3D printed Tarsier or something.
Yeah, I hope so. Maybe it's a real Tarsier. Those are cute.
Oh, they're cute. Yeah, they have big eyes.
All right, new products time.
There's a song.
Yeah. This is from David Smith, who sent the music in. Thank you, David.
Thank you.
Yeah. All right, so new products.
Composition.
New products. We're going to go through. So John Janier is our photographer here at Adafruit, our director of imaging. He shot a bunch of new photos. These aren't new products at all, but I'm just going to show them real quick.
But they're great new photos.
The Midnight Hacker.
Multi-tool. I love it because it's got wire strippers.
Yeah.
So handy.
We laser cut these here. Next up.
Big battery. It's big.
A lot of people notice all of our photos are shot on black. We think they look fantastic. Next up. Boring cable.
Yes, a USB cable, but you know what?
Yeah. Comes in Adafruit black.
It comes in Adafruit black with gold plating.
Next up.
High quality power supply.
Now see, that's the best breadboard photo
That's
I've
a lovely
ever seen.
breadboard. Look at that, is nice.
Yeah.
It's just gonna float in there.
Yeah, look how beautiful that is. Okay.
It looks like it's on a pool of mercury.
And you're like, how big is it? Oh, here's a quarter. Let's see. All right.
And then also a teeny breadboard.
Yeah. Okay. First new product of the night.
Okay.
Yeah.
We have a new book by Jeremy Bloom.
Yeah.
Bloom. It is awesome. It's got all sorts of hardcore Arduino stuff, and it actually is a very good beginner stuff, but it also goes into more advanced stuff. I think we have a sample chapter post up. Usually we do. If not, check it out. There's lovely fritzing diagrams. There's a lot of stuff that you can build with Adafruit stuff.
Yeah. Now you're probably saying, man, it would be fantastic if this was the giveaway tonight and it was signed by the author. It is.
What does it say?
It says, this is from Jeremy, to Adafruit community, you guys rock.
Okay.
Very nice. And just want to point this out. Jeremy dedicated the book. He said, to my grandmother, his lifelong curiosity and encouragement inspired me to be a better person every day. What a cool thing to say and do. So yeah, there was a amp hour meetup, and John Janier and Matt and Jeremy and some other people were there. This is what the giveaway is going to be tonight.
I like this book. This book is good. It's like, it's for people who want to like do stuff and they want to maybe take it a little bit further. And I really like the diagrams. This is kind of what I pick books by, is if the diagrams are good.
Yeah.
Usually the product is very good.
A lot of people know Jeremy from his YouTube videos and all sorts of things.
Yeah.
Beyond.
Yeah, it's very nice.
Cool book. Features Adafruit stuff too. All right, Lady Ada. What's this? This is a...
it's a reshoot.
Oh, it's a reshoot? Okay, sorry. I'm in the reshoot zone. All right.
That's cool.
All right, I'm just going to back out of the reshoot zone. Just pretend that happened before. We'll fix that in post, as I say. All right, anyways.
This is a new product. These are some diffused Piranha LEDs. These are actually going to go in the new mini pop kit that I'm working on.
Yeah.
But we also have them in the store. These are incredibly bright, and what I like about them is they have these 4 legs that make them very easy to solder, compared to 5mm LEDs or 10mm. The pins are so close; they're actually very hard to like plug into a breadboard or solder. These lay flat on a breadboard, which I think is lovely, and they're just hecka bright. They're just super, super bright, and I'll look at them. Yeah, this is a lovely photo that shows the color and like trying to balance it with resistors.
Yeah, but let's do this live.
Let's do this live. So these are them, and this is them running off of 2 AA batteries. It's actually not terribly bright. Let me see if I can grab some 5-volt power from over here and make this a little bit brighter. Because
okay, you're gonna turn this up too.
I'm gonna turn this
11,
up.
Yeah.
Well, I think 5 volts is kind of more where it should be, because that'll actually be like really bright. Okay, that's what it really looks like. It's when you put 20 milliamps through it. So, yeah, you've got red, green, and blue in it. It's like 3,000 or more millicandela. They plug into a breadboard nicely, and the cool thing is that the color is very diffused. So it has a really, as you can tell, it's like the color looks kind of even from all angles. Most LEDs, especially super bright ones, the light comes in at a very sharp angle, so they're just blinding, and then nothing. These mix the colors in very nicely. And if we look at the photo.
Which one?
On the breadboard, I guess, or the one that's just on the quarter.
You want to look at the photo with the quarter?
Yeah.
This one?
That one. Yeah, it's made out of this kind of milky white plastic, so it diffuses very, very nicely. So this is really good for if you're doing PWMing and you want to color mix nicely.
Okay. Next up, we showed this off during the wearable segment, but this is the kit. This is a new product. This is actually a
It's
kit
a
that we
lovely
sell.
kit. We got really high quality leather collars from this guy in San Francisco that makes really high quality leather collars. And our bright red LEDs, and you get extra batteries, some suede, everything you need except the tools to make this collar kit. So I really like it. It's a fun kit.
Yeah.
It's an easy project. It takes maybe an hour or two.
Yeah.
Just punch some holes and thread the LEDs through, and you're pretty much done.
And then, you know, when we have John do photos, we always like to do kind of an artistic photo. So here is the photo. Is it blood? Is it water? Is it sweat? Who knows? John knows. All right. All right, those are the new products this week, Lady Ada.
Yeah. I've been doing a lot of engineering, so we're a little bit light on new products, but we have a lot of great stuff coming
Let me
out
just
soon.
get us some new products here.
Okay.
There is the music. That's what we do. Okay.
Yeah, we have a lot of really cool stuff coming out.
Yeah. You guys, I am so lucky. I see all the stuff that comes out of her head. You're going to freak out when you see it. There is so much stuff. But speaking of, do you think we can do a little bit of a sneak peek?
Yeah,
Something
I
that's
guess
not
so.
out yet, don't ask?
I guess so.
Really?
Yeah, maybe.
Okay.
I guess that'd be okay.
I knew you'd say that, so I had some images prepared. All right, it's
Wait,
not
what?
out yet. It's not out yet, don't ask. Here's some stuff. The first thing, I'm going to show you a video. This is the video we shot here. I saw this on the blog.
This is
All these
new
blinkies.
NeoPixel Shield. And then
How's it being controlled, though?
This is an upcoming
What's this little thing
platform
here?
that we're developing called Trinket.
Yes.
More on that later.
All right. So this is a new product that we're working on here, Lady Ada,
Yeah.
and it's called Trinket.
Yeah, just 1 second.
And
oh, man, I
just to
gotta
give folks an overview of a product roadmap, I guess you're not, you know, we're an open source company. I guess we could just talk about this all the time.
Yeah.
So we have Flora, and we love Flora. And then the next wearable that comes after Flora is Gemma. Gemma's smaller.
Yeah.
Does different things.
Sorry, just fixing my demo.
Yeah.
Yeah, Gemma is almost done. It's actually part of the Trinket family. It's just rounded.
Yeah. And then the even smaller one is Trinket. So
Trinket.
Flora, Gemma,
Gemma.
Trinket.
And then, I think Trinket and Gemma are not that different. So Gemma is like a small version of the Flora.
Yeah.
But the Trinket is kind of like a breadboardable version. It's a little bit like a teeny, like Arduino.
Yeah. Do you
Just
think
different.
you can show
Yeah.
a little bit about Trinket? Okay.
Yeah, I can
Let's
show
go to the overhead.
Okay, let me get down.
It's so hard for this camera to focus on this tiny board.
So
All right.
this is the Trinket board that I've designed. And it's got an AT-Tiny85, and we're using the Arduino actually released a little like plug-in for controlling the AT-Tiny85 with the Arduino IDE. And Frank actually did a lot of the work in adapting the USB Teeny into a bootloader. So it actually looks like a USB Teeny, which is like our famous programmer, which makes it really easy to program. So you plug it in and it just like looks like, oh, you have a programmer attached. So you don't need a special version of AVRDude or anything. And you just edit the boards file and add the Trinket. And it's a little microcontroller, has a USB port, has a little reset button, which I think is cute. It has 2 LEDs. Maybe I'll plug this in to show it off. There's a green LED. There's a red LED, which won't show up because it's not bootloading. But there's a red LED that is used for bootloading. Actually, this one I think will. I have the red LED do something. So yeah, you got red LED, green LED, microcontroller, reset button, regulator, and then a couple passives just to protect the LED and stuff. And there's also some mounting holes. And then you can power it from a battery, or you can get USB power. And then there's 5 I/O pins. 2 of them are shared with USB, but it actually has a lot of stuff going on. There's analog digital conversion. There's digital output. It runs at 16 megahertz. And it's actually hardcore enough that it can actually drive, if I can get the pins connected, the demo for the 64 pixel NeoPixel square. So yeah, I've got the little Trinket and it's controlling my little NeoPixels here, making them super colorful. Maybe I'll start from the beginning.
Yeah.
So yeah, fill this red and then green and then blue. So it's a party.
Yeah.
Maybe
That's cool.
Actually, I'll make it a little bit brighter.
I think you've shown enough.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Whoa, sorry.
So that was it. That's it.
Super
It's not-
blinky. There you go.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's this is a new thing. We're 8x8 NeoPixel matrix, and also the Trinket, little USB programmable, Arduino compatible
Okay.
little guy. You can almost swallow it.
Don't do that. At midnight, I have a post. There's a Wi-Fi chip sensor that goes inside a tooth, and it'll tell people if they're eating too much. This is what happens at midnight on the blog at Adafruit.
Okay, that's kind of weird.
Stop in. Okay,
How are they getting reception inside somebody's mouth?
you got to read the blog tonight.
Look at a big tooth.
No, it's my tiny. thing.
Really?
Okay. Engineering question times. Here we go.
Okay.
Whew, speed round.
You can ask anything, but it's questions about it's not out yet. Don't
Yeah.
ask, because you can't ask questions about. Don't
Okay,
ask
someone
it.
wanted to know when
When?
do people get to ask engineering questions?
Now.
And the answer is now.
That was an
Yeah.
easy question.
So ask your engineering questions. Lady Ada will answer them. All right. How would I set up a personal meeting with Lady Ada? I want to be in New York soon and just want to meet her for a few minutes. That would be awesome.
You're meeting me right now.
Unfortunately, that is just not scalable. We get a lot of requests for that. So you're talking to Lamore right now.
But I'm right here.
The best way is to show your project on Show and Tell.
Yeah, that's the best way.
That's right.
Because that's when we have the most time.
Yeah, we have a factory. We don't have visitors. The building, we had to agree not to have retail traffic, not to have
Yeah, so
visitors.
it's actually like an industrial warehouse building.
So we love folks. We'll be at Maker Faire. If you want to meet us in person, we'll be at Open Source Hardware.
But there's no
Summit.
face-to-face meeting time. It's just
Yeah.
like, I'm just there.
Technology is our friend, so come on the show and tell and show your project.
Or right here.
Okay,
We're right here. We're hanging out.
next up. What is
Show
the
and tell.
wavelength of IR needed to blind a standard CCD? 850 nanometer? Question mark.
Yeah, something around 850 is probably good. I mean, it depends on the CCD, but remember, you need a lot of light, so you'll need like a 3 to 5 watt output. So you need a really, really big LED to really.
Okay.
I don't think you would damage it. You would just temporarily blind it.
If the USB Teeny ISP is connected to a circuit and USB port and the jumper to use the power is not in place, is the circuit still mains earth referenced through the USB port?
Yes.
Okay.
All grounds are connected.
Okay.
And so they're connected to the computer. So yeah,
All right.
the only way to avoid that, any connection at all, is to disconnect whatever other power source you have, program the chip, and then you can float it.
Next
Or
up.
you can get a USB isolator. Those are really expensive.
Is it possible to run Minesweeper on an Arduino?
Minesweeper.
Yeah, you know that Windows game?
Yeah, you could port it. You'd have to write the code for it, but the software itself, I mean, if you could design the game, you could run on an LCD. We have a lot of color LCD shields that almost certainly could do it.
Yeah. Next question. This one's for me. When is C is for capacitor release date? The video. The answer is so we were approached by some TV networks to do Circuit Playground as a television show.
Yeah.
And you probably heard of the networks that would want to do this. We said no because we want to really make these great. And so the only downside is it just takes a couple months. So B is for battery took a really long time because we wanted to have the lemon battery. It took a really long time to do the animation, the script, but now it's out forever, and it's good forever.
Yeah. When it's ready.
When it's ready. So that's when it'll be out. We're working on it. Next up, any dev plans for Google Glass in the future?
We don't have Google Glass. They wouldn't give us any.
We can't get Google Glass, so
they
the
said
plans
no.
are
They said
no.
you guys are too creepy. No
They
Google
didn't
Glass
say
here.
that. We did ask for a Google Glass, and we said we had a very specific use. We said we wanted to use Google Glass as we were doing Circuit Playground, our educational puppet show for kids. Not cool. Maybe we're not internet famous enough.
They said no.
Yeah. Okay. So next up, I covered your LED color on punk. Your LED punk color on Make It. Someone said that's so not punk. What's your response to that?
DIY is punk. That's actually the definition of punk.
Complaining on the internet
It's not punk.
is not punk. Doing a live video show, I think that's we're screwing the man.
It's late.
Yeah.
I would play.
We're not.
I would play like Misfits, but like we would get shut down off YouTube
We
because
would.
they'd be. If I could play music in the background, it would be like the Strokes, but they would
right.
not let us.
I want to build an open source racing wheel controller. Where can I find USB specs for the default driver support?
Where can they find USB specs for what?
The default drivers support
For what drivers?
for an open source racing wheel controller. So maybe I don't know.
You should probably, you could use a USB sniffer. We have a USB sniffer tutorial using the Beagle USB, which is a hardware USB sniffer. That's actually the easiest way to, in my opinion, to get the data about what is being sent. It could be an HID device. It could be a custom device. I don't know. I never used this driving wheel thing.
Okay, next up. Do you know of any cheap 5 gigahertz 802.11an chips available in the market? The TIC3000 is only 2.4 gigahertz.
I'll tell you what the cheapest one is. There is none.
Okay. What advice can you give for a maker business that worry about people getting hurt with their products? Fires, do you need special expensive lure? Is a Yule enough? No, if you sell products, you should worry about that, and you should
You're always liable.
You should always talk to a lawyer.
No EULA will protect you from liability, by
Yeah,
the way.
you
That's
can-
actually like total bullshit.
Yeah. You can say
even
anything
your lawyer
you
would
want.
say. Even your lawyer would say
Yeah.
that. They'd be like, it doesn't ever protect you.
Yeah.
I mean, you could show it in court, but the only way to really protect yourself is to have liability insurance, to be aware of what you're building, and
Yeah.
to do engineering best practices.
Yeah. But you know what the best advice is?
Yeah.
Always be good to your customers, and always be transparent, and always do the right thing.
And tell the truth.
And always, if you do the right thing, you actually have nothing to worry about. People only get hurt and bad things happen when someone has a problem with the product and you won't replace it. You won't even answer them. You won't go through a process. Or if someone has a question and there's no way that they can help. Or if there's no documentation. Or if it's just like a bag of glass. There's all sorts of things. That's the best advice. Always, if you do the right thing. And in fact, a lawyer told me before, the best advice I give is always do the right thing. You actually have nothing to worry about if you always do the right thing.
But also engineer with best practices in mind.
Of course. Okay.
And don't make medical equipment, because that you do need to have special
Good stuff.
licenses for.
Next up, do you have any rechargeable battery recommendation charge a 3.5 TFT and a Raspberry Pi? That's hard.
One of our USB rechargeable battery packs works pretty well.
Okay. Next up, what are your basic rules to follow when designing PCBs in EagleCAD? That's a tough one. For
Follow the DRC.
yes. Any plans for the new low power Bluetooth? Yes.
Yes.
Coming soon, not out yet.
It's not out yet.
Yeah.
We're still working on it.
Are you
just added support, so we're testing to make sure that it's supported with
Are
the
you
new
expanding
Android.
the RFID NFC sections? Yes, but not right now.
Yeah, we actually have some more NFC stuff on the way.
ETA for the tutorial of the VS1053 breakout.
I think it's being worked on right now.
Okay. That's right.
I mean, not at this very moment because we're in front of a camera, but
Yeah.
the tutorial writer is tutorializing.
Yeah.
It's a hard one. It's a very complicated board. That's why it's taking a while.
It is.
Some tutorials are like, oh, it takes an hour or two. This one I think is like a 10-hour tutorial writing expedition.
All right. What are your thoughts on the Spark Core? The Spark Core is not out, and it's not going to be shipping until probably next year.
Spark Core does not exist and is not Arduino compatible.
Okay.
It's not.
And
this
so
is, mine's actually going to be an Arduino chip.
yeah, so we don't follow all the
Or
different.
Arduino.
We don't follow the Kickstarters because they're a little bit of a distraction.
But I know it's a Cortex M3. It's not an
Yeah.
actual AVR.
We emailed with the folks. We think it's really cool. We want to work with their cloud service, and
yeah, they said they want to make
yeah.
us compatible, but
I think
it
it's
just
super cool.
it just doesn't exist yet.
I think it's super cool. It's just not out yet. When we have our hardware that's going to be shipping in like a
Yeah,
matter
I
of
can't wait for other
days.
people's Kickstarters.
Next up, how can I stream audio to an Arduino?
To an Arduino, like to play. I mean, if you want to play, we have a Wave Shield, and our codec board, the VS1053 codec board, can both record audio and play audio. So check that out. We have an example for recording OGG. It's actually hard to record because the analog digital converter is not that fast. It's hard to record. I mean, there's a tutorial for the Wave Shield and a microphone, but it's not as good as using the codec board to record audio because it'll encode it and compress it. So you'll get much higher quality because you're not waiting for the analog digital converter. So that's kind of the best way.
Okay. When will we be carrying a bag of glass? Yeah, I know. It's fun.
Next week.
Yeah. 4 years of Ask an Engineer
Glassduino.
soon. That's right. 209 weekly winners. Currently 173 watching. What can we win? A trivia again.
One winner per lifetime.
One winner per lifetime.
Per
for
lifetime.
now. Yeah.
We have a lot of new people, and I want to make sure all the new people have a chance to win.
Also, here's the cool thing. We're now on YouTube Live, and we're on Ustream. The problem with YouTube Live, though, is there's a delay because they do this DVR thing because they have all these other devices looking at it. So it is tough. Are you working on an LCD shield for the Raspberry Pi?
Yes, I am.
Yeah, if you could only see.
If
what's on my
only you
dude's
could see
desk.
what's on my desk right now. It's very exciting. It's very covered with different LCDs, including capacitive touch displays. Ooh.
Yeah.
Did I just say capacitive touch displays? I did.
Yeah, you did.
I did. I did find a source for capacitive touch displays. Little teeny ones, so cute.
Okay. All right, Lady Ada. You know what time it is.
It is time for cat. No, it's time for
Trivia question.
trivia question.
What are the rules?
Rules are only one winner per lifetime. I don't care if there's been 3,000 winners. You can't win twice because everybody wants to win. So we want to give everybody a chance. And
Yeah.
I was that kid who always like raised the hand and answered questions in class, like math class,
Yeah.
and everyone hated my guts, and I got beat up after class. So don't be that person. Give everyone a chance to answer.
You turned out okay.
I turned
All
out
right,
okay.
This is the prize.
Signed
Yeah.
book, Exploring Arduino. It's an awesome book. There's
Yeah.
even coupon codes for discounts. Check it out.
All right, you ready for the trivia question?
Yes.
First person to type this up in the chat wins. Here it is. In 2011, Jeremy Blum was an R&D electrical engineer for what company?
Oh, I didn't even know that.
That's right. You need to go to his site. He's not the Olympics. There's like some famous skier. He's not the skier. And
Skier?
yeah, so then you'll have to click his LinkedIn profile, and then you'll have to scroll.
Or if you just know this stuff.
Yeah, what company did he work at in 2011? New York City-based company as an R&D electrical engineer. Which one is it? Whoops is not the answer. TI is not the answer. Kessler Fellowship is not the answer. Mad Magazine is not the answer. TI is not the answer.
We visited Mad
MakerBot,
Magazine.
Socket 11. Congratulations.
You're correct.
Socket 11, MakerBot.
That's right. He worked at MakerBot. I didn't know
He did. You know
that.
what he did there? He worked as an R&D electrical engineer, designing electronics and sometimes software to enable these machines to make you anything.
That's cool. I did not know that. I did not know he worked at MakerBot.
Yeah. I don't think it's public, but I know where he's going next, but I'm not going to say it. I don't think it's not public. It's not on his LinkedIn yet, so I'm not going to say it. I'm not going to say it.
Well, he's at Element 14.
Well,
Doing
yeah,
videos.
but don't say anything more because I don't know if it's public where he's going to next.
I don't know where he's going to next.
Okay, you don't know at all. All right, I'll tell you later. I'll tell you later after the microphones are off.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Okay, check out this book, though. It's
Yeah.
a nice book.
Okay, so it's 11 o'clock. It's time to end the show.
Okay.
Socket 11, please email us, support@adafruit.com, and we'll send you out this signed copy. The only one in existence that I know of, that I know of.
Yeah, this is cool. This book covers a lot.
It's thorough. All right, a couple last things. Got to wrap up the show.
Yeah.
Here's a special treat. Here's a video of MOSFET yelling at a bird.
Words.
I'll play it twice. Look. Yeah. So we have birds outside our window where MOSFET lives now, and he's just like
He can't
freaking.
stand it.
Yeah, he's like, what are these birds doing here? They're invading. So that is MOSFET.
Yeah, that's his hobby, because there's these
Yeah.
two doves that sit outside our window. They're kind of like stanky doves. They're like
Yeah.
brown doves.
Don't forget the code is OSCON. Please help us pay the bills and keep this thing up.
Pay for our expensive microphones. These are really pricey wireless microphones.
Everybody said get better sound, get better sound. We finally spent money and get
How
better
much
sound.
are these things each? They're like $600 or something, aren't
They're like 300 something each.
Wow.
It's worth it. You guys can hear us loud and clear.
Yeah,
now.
but when we have guests, we have to have four, because if you have guests, they also have to have these wireless mics.
Yeah.
And they chew through batteries too. They really
do.
eat batteries up.
Okay, here is. We'll see everybody next week, by the way. And thank you once again, everyone, from the open source community for nominating Our Lady Ada.
Thank
It's
you.
a big deal. Here
I'm
is
honored.
your moment of Zener.
I couldn't have done it without forking the shoulders of giants.